keep that going for your next comedian. His name is Anthony Galindo.
I'm glad I could be here and take time out of my busy schedule from modeling for Hitler Youth posters. Thank you. Thank you. I know. I heard that's a big start. I know. Holocaust, that's a rocky beginning. I'm very aware. Here's the beauty of comedy. I really believe that you have to laugh at the worst parts of life. That's the only way to get through life. Laugh at the worst parts of it. They say laughter is the best medicine after all. So maybe if these bummer kids with leukemia would just lighten up for a minute, maybe they'd have fewer problems by now. Speaking of laughing at tragedy, are we at a point where we can make jokes about Kobe Bryant? Has enough time passed that we can... Yeah, I heard a yup, okay. Or if I do that, will that just make my entire set crash and burn? There we go. Kobe Bryant's death, that put a dent in the Make-A-Wish Foundation, didn't it? Did you imagine having to respond to all those letters the day after it happened, you know? Just writing over and over again, how about Shaquille O'Neal instead? How about Shaquille O'Neal instead? How about Shaquille O'Neal? And just firing them off one by one to a whole bunch of bummer kids with leukemia. I think I'm getting sick of the NBA. That's not true. Maybe it's not the NBA. I think what I'm tired of is ESPN doing like those 30-minute exposés on professional basketball players. Because they always try to chalk it up as some kind of underdog story, and it's just not believable. It's all the same. It's like, Shaquille O'Neal was 6'10" by the 8th grade, and could dunk from the free throw line by the 9th grade. Nobody thought he would make it. Who? Who didn't really? Shaquille? No one thought Shaquille would make it? Was everyone putting their money on the 5'6" Irish kid dribbling between people's legs? And come on, Mickey, work on that layup, you'll get drafted. It's ridiculous, man. You know what's gotta be a difficult life? Is being a really tall black guy that doesn't play basketball. It's gotta be annoying, like maybe he's just really good at chess. He's got a solid chess game, but every day he's gotta answer the same question. Hey man, can you dunk? Can you dunk? Oh, you can dunk, right? Can you dunk? Hey, can you dunk? And he's gotta be like, yeah. I guess he can do it just doesn't do anything for him, you know? Oh, lordy. I think we're at the point in COVID where if you're still wearing your mask outside, you're not allowed to eat ass. You're not. You shouldn't be. You're not allowed. It's just a belief that I have. You shouldn't be doing. If you're afraid of the maybe germs, but not the definitely germs, you're a silly person. That's just my belief. You're a silly person. You know who I think had it really rough during COVID was deaf people who read lips. Yeah, I believe it. I think the minute we strapped on those COVID masks, they walked outside and went, are they all talking shit? I think they're all talking shit. Again, just because I'm feeling look doesn't mean I don't know you're not talking shit. Guys, I bet they're talking shit. That kind of reminds me, so I'll tell you a story. I used to live in Oregon, and in Salem, Oregon, this is totally true, there's a haunted house that is put on as a fundraiser by a school for the deaf. This is true. This is true. I used to go to it all the time. Wasn't the scariest haunted house in the world, because a lot of the actors that were in the haunted house were the deaf kids. So if they're crouched around a corner, they didn't exactly hear your footsteps coming toward them. They were just as surprised to see you as you were to see them, if I'm going to be honest with you. Then they try to overcompensate. They jump out at you and go, "Brr!" like it was a whole big thing, man. God bless them. Good kids. Good kids. Do we have any world travelers in the audience? Any world travelers? Right on. Here's what I think the beauty of America is. I really do mean this. America is such a big melting pot that Like, you don't need to travel the world to experience different cultures, you know? You can just travel the country and still experience a lot. I think that's really great. Like, let me give you some examples. Like, you don't need to fly all the way to Ireland when you can just go to Boston. I mean, think about it. They're all drunk, they're punching each other, they're all Irish anyway. What's the difference? Another one, you don't need to go all the way to the Middle East. You can just go to Texas. I know it's a stretch, but hear me out. Just listen first, all right? Here we go. It's hot. All their money comes from oil. The women don't have rights. It's basically the same place. You don't need to fly all the way to India. Just go to Bellevue. Just follow the parade of Teslas on the highway until you reach the punchline of this joke. Nice. Somebody liked it. All right. This table's a little racist. I keep an eye on it. Good Lord. No, I said it, but you agreed with it. That's just as bad. Shame on you.
Hey man, bad time.
Oh man. So I'm happy to be in Seattle because right now I live in Everett.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, yikes. I heard a yikes. Yeah, it's a good call. It's a good call. It's not so bad. So I have one roommate, which is the perfect number of roommates. That's exactly how many roommates anyone should have. I used to have a lot more before I lived in Everett. Like you missed with the white shirt. What's the most amount of roommates you've had at one time? One. That's great. Hey, she's living the dream. My number is 7.
Excuse me.
7 roommates. I was the only one that could cook or clean. I was basically Snow White. Here's the problem. Snow White had some cushy ass dwarves, all right? Snow White had some cushy ass dwarves. Who did she have to deal with? Oh, sleepy and bashful. I had some grungy dwarves, man. I had dwarves like smelly and hairy and messy and never cleans his own dishes, The rent is always late, Puerto Rican, Why are you owing? He was Puerto Rican. I didn't know this was such an anti-Puerto Rican crowd. Shame on you. I see you over there. You a bunch of bigots. Speaking of bigotry, I was raised religious. Anyone else raised religious? Anyone? Oh, yeah, okay. My parents sent me to a Christian high school, that's true, which is a crazy place, the Christian high school, because a lot of the teachers are retired pastors or priests, and listen, I don't want to perpetuate any stereotypes, but this is true. My freshman year, separate occasions, 2 teachers and 1 football coach got arrested for molesting kids. That's just true. I know, it's true. Those are tough years, man. By the time I left that school, I was so used up, my uncle wouldn't even touch me. No, I didn't get molested. I wasn't attractive enough. Stuck-up jerks. I was too skinny. I'm still super skinny. I've always had a lot of body confidence issues about it. I look like God slapped me together out of old coat hangers and chewing gum. I'm too skinny. Ladies, I gotta warn you. I'm so bony that making love to me is like getting humped by a Ziploc bag filled with Legos. You're gonna wind up with some bruises. I know my face looks like a guard at Auschwitz. My body looks like an inmate. I don't know how pedophiles do it, man. I can't stand kids. Dude, it's just, no, they're loud, they're obnoxious, they're messy. I don't like being around them at all. Now, I would love to be on that list where by law they had to stay 100 feet away from me at all times. The irony is, to get on that list, you gotta get really close to them. It's a big old irony, man. I don't even like babies. Like, babies, they creep me out. Like, I'm not good with them. See, now, I'm the kind of guy, listen, I'll level with you. I like my babies how I like my martinis. Shaken. No, that's not right. Oh, no, I'm not gonna end on that. Look, my sister had a baby last year. She did. She asked me if I could hold on to it for a few minutes. It was a big mistake. It was So we were at a Mexican restaurant, they were playing mariachi music, and I love to play the maracas. Did you know that on average it costs $150,000 to raise a child? $150,000 to raise one child. But a child's funeral, $2,000. I saved my sister $148,000 that day. She still hasn't said thank you. Everybody, fun. My name's Anthony Galindo. Thanks a lot.
Let him hear you guys. Been working hard. This next guy has been working really hard. I'll tell you what. Please, keep that going for Banji. Give it up.
Howdy everybody, how you doing tonight? Hell yeah. Guys, I've been thinking a lot recently. I've been machinating about life and our times. You know, I asked myself, is the iPhone getting tougher, or are the white women in my life getting over their drinking problems? You know? I've been thinking about this a lot. I've also been thinking, I'm pretty sure white women invented auras so they could tell people they smell bad without telling them they smell bad. You know, it's like, John, your aura's dingy today. Maybe take a shower or something spiritual. I grew up left-handed, and my brother